Hey Gaurav,
Hello, hello, Vishal.
how are you doing, man?
Yep, very good. Good.
Cool, cool, cool. I will just do some of my. You are able to hear me right?
Yep, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Cool. And let me know if you can also see my screen. I'll just share it. Do you see my tabs?
Yep.
Cool. This is platform. Cool. I'll stop sharing for now, and we'll wait until other joins. Just give me a minute. I'm coming back. Gaurav, do we record the session or we don't do?
We do record it
And
so
you put
that,
it somewhere?
yeah, we upload it on YouTube and we put up the link in the
Oh,
event.
okay. So, you do the complete recording or until the demos and everything and the Q and A is like we are not recording?
It's on us actually. We can cover the session, and if there is something which is confidential, we you can let me know. I'll stop the recording.
No, nothing says that. Just I was asking
Mhm.
if till the demos and everything is done, we can record it, and at the end, maybe the Q and A we might not.
Yeah, sure, okay. Whenever the Q&A comes, I'll allow everyone to have the presenter mode and we can have a conversation.
Uh, that time we can stop the recording maybe,
All
because
right.
that should be something fruitful for one who has joined, might be. Like that's how I do in MuleSoft. That's why.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. We can do it.
Okay, hey on.
Hello, Rohan.
Hi Gaurav, hi everyone.
Maybe you can put a reminder to your channel as well on.
Yep.
We are at 10:32.
So we got 11 RSVPs on a Saturday morning, so you know,
Maybe we have not mentioned swags. That's why.
I did twice.
Let's wait couple and then we can start.
I still remember in our inaugural meetup when I was hosting this with Funny, there were only like 5 people. So
No worries. We'll try to increase our base.
yep. I included MuleSoft community as well, and still just have 2 people.
We'll try to have that as well. Like soon. Maybe we can have something a collaboration of Delhi, Jaipur, and MuleSoft meetup.
Yep, we'll
But
do that.
December is a pretty light month
Yeah,
as with
everyone
work,
holiday month, right?
lots of trips, concerts, plans people have.
Right.
We can plan something in January then,
Yeah,
virtually if required, and we can have an external meetup link instead of BV, so that both the groups can collab virtually.
let's wait for 2 more minutes. We start at 10:35, or we can wait
Yeah,
for. Mhm.
we can start at 10:35.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like John and David, we see you are over here. Would you like to speak up something
I'll open the
or write
presenter
it in
mode for
chat?
them. Feel free to unmute you guys.
Yeah, we can have some chit chat until we are starting. Hey, Akshay. Please feel free to unmute and maybe you can discuss. Anyone tried MuleSoft? Like I'm from MuleSoft background. So anyone tried MuleSoft or how excited you are to know a little bit about MuleSoft? Anything you want to share? Like let's try to have it more interactive and we also have some swag, I guess, and that will be like if you're interactive, then you'll get it.
Yep, you have to ask questions.
Yeah. So in Pune, Gaurav,
Yep,
any plan to Jaipur in holidays or no?
I'll be super honest. I'll planning for January actually.
Okay. But your home is where? Like where is your hometown? Jaipur only?
No, it's Vrindavan.
Ah, nice
Oh,
place. Yeah. When
nice.
you're inviting your home, when should we visit your home? Tell me that. Vrindavan is awesome.
Yeah.
I went to like see. He haven't said okay, you're welcome or not. Just he has ignored it.
Oh,
But
you
yeah,
want to come? Yeah, please, 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 anytime.
I went to Banaras. I went to
Hmm.
Ayodhya. All those some of the places I went. I went
Travel
to
to travel to Vrindavan once a year at least.
maybe
Okay.
next year I'll plan something. I'll visit to Delhi and then from there I'll plan. We can
Yeah.
have something like we can have like if you are free, Gaurav, and then you can travel to Delhi as well, and we can have a meetup over there as well. Like I have done some meetups, like Rohan has
Hmm.
introduced. me to Salesforce and Slack. So this is my second
Yep.
meetup. So he's the guy who brought me to Slack and Salesforce.
But Abhishek is very active and enthusiastic.
Yep. I met him first time in Jaipur itself, so I wasn't aware that you are a friend of Weber and you all guys work in Euroflash. But
I bought Weber in Jaipur group
okay,
because Jaipur was not active, and I am also regional leader for MuleSoft Meetup India. So
right.
we wanted to activate, and that's where like I had this. Okay, let's have some collab with in Jaipur, and then
Hmm.
I talked to Gaurav sir, and Gaurav Khetrapal has got Salesforce, Capado, everything. Like I didn't knew Slack is there. Otherwise, we could have
Mm-hmm.
a Slack as well over there because I was prepared with this topic for Slack, and we would have done that. But no worries, we got to have a meetup over here. Okay, I think should we start? I think we should not waste others' time who have already joined on time, and we can start that.
Yeah, I think let's start. We have 8 people now total. Who is sharing the screen?
I'll
Gaurav
take.
can do it initially, then you can do it, and then after you, I can do that.
Come again, Abhishek.
Gaurav will start.
Okay, okay,
He will share, then he will give it to you, and after
got it.
you are
Okay,
done, then I will take it from my end.
okay,
I'm just coming, getting my water bottle.
okay.
Okay, Abhishek, I'm having some issues. So can you take up the screen? I have to restart Chrome to get my permission settled.
Oh, got it. Uh, I have the PPT as well. I don't have the Google Drive link.
What you want? You want someone to share what, Gaurav?
Yep. You take over it. I'm having some permission issues to share. I
Okay,
have to restart Chrome.
let me share my screen then, and you can talk about that, and then Rohan, for you also, you want me to present, or you can do that?
I can do that, but if you're sharing, then it is fine.
Okay.
You can continue.
Whenever you want, you can hit that record button. Gaurav, I'm just sharing. You can able to see my screen, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. So thank you so much, guys. It's early Saturday morning, and I really appreciate you joining. Welcome to the virtual Slack meetup for from the fifth Slack chapter. So today, can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, a little introduction about myself. I'm a senior associate business system analyst working at Workday, and I'm also Salesforce marketing champion. Feel free to reach out to me if you have anything to talk regarding Salesforce, Slack, or MuleSoft. Moving on. I really appreciate our lovely speakers to, taking out time on out of their busy schedules on Saturday. I mean, this is the day they're supposed to rest. They are always active in the community. But I really appreciate Abhishek and Rohan for, taking up the stage today, for being the speaker in this session. And for today's topic, we will be talking about overview of Slack and integration with MuleSoft. Okay. Swag alert, yes, be interactive if you are interested in winning swag, and there are lots of surprises available with the Slack swag. So feel free to post about the session, your learnings on LinkedIn, Twitter, tag us, tag Slack community, tag MuleSoft community, and if you are the lucky one, we will get you a swag. Thank you. With that, I'll hand over to our lovely speakers. Let's get started.
Sure. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for introducing and welcoming everyone. So let's start with the session. So we'll first cover the basics of Slack. Then Abhishek will tell us about MuleSoft, like what it is, fundamentals of MuleSoft, and then he'll tell us how to integrate Slack using MuleSoft. And then we'll have a round of question answers. But if you feel that you have any questions in between, you can raise your hand or you can post it in the chat. Okay, so just starting with a little fun fact. So Slack is not actually a complete name, and it's actually an acronym which stands for searchable log of all communication and knowledge, and which is essentially it does at its very core. So it suits it really suits the acronym. And yeah, so there was a discussion going on in the community, like in a channel recently. Like we have service blazers, we have sales blazers, we have different like different champions, ambassadors for different products. So what should we call the people who are champions or ambassadors of Slack? So we were not able to find a good name, and slackers does not sound very attractive. So now, like, it's kind of Slackstar. So Slackstar is something that we use. But yeah, we'll talk about it more when it becomes concrete. And it's very cool. Slack is a chat and messaging app, and it's a communication application, but it's a lot more than that now, because when Salesforce acquired it, they had a vision, and the vision was to have Slack act as the UI for people who do not need to do a lot of configuration, automations, process modifications, or development. So the people who are, let's say, executive stakeholders who are at the leadership level, who are supervising, so they can make the necessary basic updates right from Slack, and that can uh, travel back to Salesforce. And we do have tools regarding that called Sales Elevate, and soon we may see similar tools coming around for more clouds and similar industries. So with that, we can do a lot more in Slack. It's not simply a chat and messaging application, but at its very core, this is what the vision was of Slack to like when it got started. And it really provides a very easy access for the users to access any sort of past discussion, communication, or any files shared across the workspace or the channels that you have access to. Right. So earlier, like, so I did work at a couple of companies. So in one company, they were not using, like, we were not using Slack, and I found like people were searching on emails, if they wanted to find some attachments. Like they did not have a central source of, uh, let's say, communication information storage where people can refer back to older communication. And when I was at Salesforce, and even now when I'm at Neuraflash, because of Slack, it's really easy to reference any past communication or any files or important updates shared within the team. Or if you're coming back after a long break, we have Slack AI features as well, called thread summaries, channel recaps, that allows us to quickly see what all discussions took place in a particular channel, in a particular thread, or even across your favorite channels. And you can have AI generate a comprehensive summary of the entire interaction. So it really enhances the productivity of the whole team. And this is something that I have personally experienced. And yeah, so there was a company, Tiny Speck. So Slack internally started out, like how it took birth as a company was the uh, messaging tool that that particular company created. And even some years back, we could see Tiny Speak mentioned in some of the documentation. I think it is now updated. And yeah, and the company renamed itself to Slack Technologies in 2014. And only after 7 years, Salesforce acquired it for a record sum of $27.7 billion. That was a lot at that point. But yeah, I think like it's working out great for Salesforce, and people are also realizing the value Slack brings to the overall uh, Salesforce ecosystem space. Okay, so that was a brief intro of Slack and how I have experienced Slack grow over time. Okay, we can move on to the next slide, Abhishek. Yeah, so Slack was a chat and messaging application before, but now Slack is your AI productivity platform, bringing automation, knowledge, and collaboration together. So if anyone asks like what is Slack, then this is a great one-liner to put across. Yeah, and at the very core of Slack, it's now powered by a robust AI engine, and there are a lot of apps that we uh, us- usually use in our day-to-day processes. The most popular apps like Google Calendar or Google Drive or Okta, Zoom, uh, Workday, OpenAI, ChatGPT. So all of these have now native applications in Slack that can be accessed right through Slack, and you can also interact them through special commands. And it's also seamless to integrate obviously within the Salesforce ecosystem space. And suppose if you want to connect with an external application or where it does not have a connector, then we have MuleSoft that empowers it to integrate it with any sort of external system, and Abhishek will talk more about it. So as a whole, we can divide what Slack does now in three broad buckets, that is automation, knowledge, and collaboration. Collaboration, we know we can do it through communication, through exchanging messages, uh, information, or files. And knowledge is how it is organized across different features. Like we have channels, we have something called as canvas now, which you can think of as a document that you can share with your team, but that is all internal in Slack. And you can create your to-do tasks, for example, or you can uh, maintain the progress of your project, or you can also use it to maintain your daily tasks tracker. And uh, already the search capabilities of Slack were really powerful, and we could find a lot of relevant information, which is now even enhanced by the inclusion of the AI engine. And we receive even better search results now, and even summaries of what we are trying to search. And with automations, we do have a lot of tools in Slack for that. Workflow Builder is a really powerful tool, but will not go into much detail. Um, and as I mentioned, we have a lot of connectors, pre-built integrations that we can utilize, and we can also extend them using custom integrations. Okay, I think we can move on. And these are the simple use cases across the most popular industries: sales, service, marketing, and platform. So the people who are like suppose working in a customer service center, it helps them to uh, collaborate better. If suppose a case comes in and they need to collaborate with people from say product team, from support team, from uh, from the event monitoring team. So all of these teams can come together, they can start a swarm, and they can share their knowledge, so that whenever a new person joins, they don't have to start by gathering information uh, every time, but they can carry on as per how the information or the discussion already had went. So it helps to save a lot of time, and it's easier to scale, and the issue resolution is also increased, because with Slack the agents, the service agents have access to all the previous such cases as well, and if they try to find an information about a new case and they reference a previous case, so they will have all the discussions that took place, all the files that were shared, and all the people who were involved in that. So the next time a similar case comes in, it is really easy to solve. So this was just a simple example. And similarly, if we have all the information readily available at our hand, it helps the sales team and even marketing team to get more reach, to increase the partnerships and collaborations. And on the platform, on the IT delivery side, it helps to automate routine tasks. Like, for example, even in our company, we are using an HRMS portal. We are also managing our data in Salesforce. So when we have to apply a leave, we do it at the HRMS portal. We do it at the Salesforce instance separately. We put a hold on our calendar. We send an email to the project teams, relevant stakeholders. And this is the case for a lot of companies where we are doing a lot of such activities separately, which can be simply solved by creating a powerful workflow, having integrations with, say, Google Cloud, with that HRMS portal, where you just have to fill the information and the workflow, about the dates of your of leaves, the reason of your leaves, and which leave type are you trying to avail, and then the information can flow back to creating a leave request in Salesforce, creating a leave request and applying it in the HRMS portal, and also creating a hold out of office event on your calendar, and also shooting a text in your channel. So there's a lot that we can do, and this was just a simple, easy to understand example that we can all relate with. Okay, and there are a lot of key use cases other than this, but these are some of the ones that helps us to understand how Slack can help us. And you can see the metrics as well that are shown according to the research conducted by the Salesforce customer success team. Okay, and teams are 49% more productive with Slack. So I think that's a big number in itself. It's okay, Abhishek, we can move on to the next slide. Okay, and if you have Slack before, this may look like a similar interface, and we have just divided into three parts. So at the very left hand side, part number one, you see the information about your workspace, how many channels you are a part of, how many unreads you have, how many um, direct messages you have, and what messages have you saved in your drafts, and how you have arranged the different channels in different sections as per your preference. And then if we click on more, we can access automations and a lot of other features as well. And now we can also switch workspaces by clicking on the workspace tab. Okay, and then in the middle we have the, like, one of the actual channel open. Like in this example, it is a project channel, and we can see that people are conversing, replying in threads, and they have pinned some messages. They have attached some resources that all 17 members can access at any time, and they can also create a group huddle if they see that they want to quickly connect over a call. And then if you want to go into more detail, and if you want to discuss on a particular topic, then we can do it in a thread in the third uh, column, and we can uh, like make use of the thread feature as well by how we use a normal message. We can attach images, we can attach a voice note, emojis, and we can add mention someone as well. Okay, so I hope this helps if Slack is pretty new for someone, and we can move on next. Okay, so I had already explained what we see in this particular screen now. So you can just take a few seconds to take it in. So so we are a part of a workspace, and in that workspace we have different channels, and we can be a part of multiple workspaces, and we can also maintain the sharing and security of those channels, so with that we can have access to only the relevant information that we have, and one should not have access to something that they should not have. So there are a different set of channels that we'll discuss in the next slides. Okay, so as I was saying, so we have public channels, we have private channels, and we have channels shared externally. So public channels, as the name suggests, it is open for everyone. Everyone can join, post updates, and these are mostly org level channel where the company may want to uh, do a broadcast of the announcements of the wins that they did, of the projects that they closed, or the new projects, or something about getting IT support, or the marketing and sales announcements. So an organization wide channel that is open for for everyone to join and share information. So those channels we have public, and where we don't have any concerns of letting people join and share any information we have in those channels. And then there are some project based channels that are mostly kept private for the folks in those projects, so that the customer data is not compromised. And if there are specialized channels around, say, legals that we have in this case, or the hiring feedback for the candidates, then these are some information that one should keep confidential. And in that case, private channels can help do the job. And then we have channels that are shared externally with uh, people from different workspaces from different organization. So just to give an example, suppose my company is using Slack and we are working with the customer and they are also using Slack, but we are in different workspaces. So it won't be possible for the customer or even us to go into their workspaces and have access to their information. So just to safeguard the uh, important information, we go ahead with this approach where we only give access to one channel to people who are external to our workspace, and they can be of a different organization, and they can be like I know MuleSoft community has their own workspace, Slack community has their own workspace, Salesforce community has their own workspace, and many of the people like even Gaurav, Abhishek, myself. So we are a part of these communities, but it's not a good practice to uh, share the information between them. So it may be possible that we can create a channel where every one of us can discuss, participate, share files, share information, but it should also protect what we have in our particular channels. So this is where external channels come into picture. Okay, then I think that was it. This was a brief overview of Slack, and this is just an image to represent how Slack enhances the overall productivity and collaboration between employees. Working without Slack, as everyone is working in their own silos, it is difficult to share information, difficult to collaborate. But with Slack, it's like one workspace, and we can share information on the go, and that helps to save a lot of time. Okay, then I'd like to hand it over to Abhishek. I think we are doing good on time, and Abhishek can tell us more about MuleSoft and Slack integrations.
Yep. Thank you so much, Rohan, for your insights on Slack. I will reach here, but before that, if anyone have question, uh, so far what we have done, so I will give it a few seconds so that if you have any questions, you can ask regarding that. No questions? Are we good?
Yep. Any questions, any feedback, any tips, anything you want to share around Slack? It's everything is
You're
welcome.
you're breaking on.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that any question, any tips, any feedback, anything you want to share regarding Slack, everything is welcome.
You still break, but yeah, Rohan is asking
Oh,
like if yeah you have, or if you want to share anything, maybe you can unmute and you can do that. If not, then we can go with MuleSoft and Slack integration. So before I go, I just wanted to understand like how many you have knowledge of MuleSoft. Maybe if you wanna unmute or you wanna write it on chat. Anyone tried MuleSoft or reading about it, reading through it? If you have heard about it, from where you have heard about it, anything? No. Okay, so I will share my screen and I will quickly talk about that. And before again, talking about MuleSoft, giving a small introduction. So, as you know, my name is Abhishek Bathwal. I am a MuleSoft ambassador. I lead two chapters in MuleSoft community, and I'm also a regional leader for MuleSoft Meetup India. And recently, I got debuted in Salesforce and MuleSoft as a speaker, thanks to my friend Rohan. And thanks to Gaurav for inviting us today over here and giving us this platform. Thank you so much, Gaurav. So, starting with MuleSoft, if you have not explored, then maybe I can give you a little bit idea about what MuleSoft is. So, it is an integration platform founded by Ross and Dev in 2006, but it made public in 2017 and acquired by Salesforce in 2018. So there are several companies which use MuleSoft as an iPaaS. We have a lot of developers worldwide, architects. Okay, we have a lot of customers using MuleSoft. So MuleSoft emphasizes like to on the ease of development, quick and efficient assembly of component, less custom code by hand. MuleSoft bring the concept of API-led connectivity, which help you to loosely couple your APIs, and which is also applicable for the concept of reusability. Okay, before I go much in depth, I wanted to show you few things uh, on MuleSoft. So the major things what we have for MuleSoft is one is the Anypoint platform. So this is a cloud platform where uh, we see everything for MuleSoft. So like uh, we design our RAML. So RAML is a blueprint which help you to understand like what kind of APIs you are creating, what are the endpoints, what are the structure. Okay, so there, if you'll see, there are different options what we have now. This is a trial account, so we can see less number of options, but if you have in your organization have got a enterprise edition for this, okay, licensed version, then you can see more of the options over here. Okay, but this is like for trial version, and you get a 30 days of trial, so you can try and test your applications, you can build, you can learn about MuleSoft. And there are several modules in Salesforce, which at the end I can also share with you to learn about MuleSoft. So we have Design Center, where you create a RAML, where you create a blueprint. Then we have got Exchange. So Exchange is the library where you get all the connectors. So in MuleSoft, we don't need to write Java codes or any kind of codes for most of the connections what we want. So there are connectors which is present in Exchange, which can be imported in your Studio for development. And Studio is something IDE which we use for development, which I will show you. Okay, so this is Exchange, where you can see like provided my MuleSoft. You can get all different connectors over here. There are free version. There are some partner connectors, which is coming up with some cost. You need to have a license for that. But most of the things are free, which can be used in that. Similarly, we have got for Slack, okay, which is a free edition. So you can see there are two connectors. One is the community version and one is the Mule4 one. So I'm using the community version, okay, for this demo, which I will show you. Okay, but there is another one, and there are a lot of other aspects or operations what we can do with this connectors, which I will show you in the later part. Okay, then I was talking about Studio, but we have Anypoint Code Builder as well, which is a future of development for MuleSoft. Okay, there are two versions. One is your desktop IDE and one is the cloud version. Okay, and this works with your Visual Studio, so you can see all the prerequisites what are required, and you can try it out for developing Mule applications. Okay, Studio, that is an open source, so you can go and you can write like download Anypoint Studio, and you will get this. So that is available both for Mac and Windows. Okay, you can get your code builder as well from here. MuleSoft Code Builder. You have Anypoint Studio. Okay, you can go and you can get the latest Studio version what we have. Okay, so this is quite. I wanted to give you a brief about what we have in MuleSoft. Okay, and your Studio looks something like this, where I have the Slack connector, the community edition, where I have all these operations. Okay, and I have used one of the operation which is post message, which we will talk brief, like what all configuration we need in order to integrate. Right. Okay. So I've given you an idea like what is Exchange and what connector we have. So this is the community edition. Then in order to start with Slack and MuleSoft integration, so first of all, you need to have an account in Slack and you need to create a workspace. So when you go to api.slack.com, you will get several options where you can create your app. Okay, so when you go to your app, if you don't have an account, you can sign in. Sorry, if you don't have an account, you can create it, or if you have an account, you can sign it for that. After you sign it, it will ask to create a workspace. Then once you do that, you need to create an app, because this is something which will be required to do the configuration within MuleSoft. Again, to create an app, there are two options. One is the manifest and one is Scratch. So this is how the manifest work. Okay, but we are going to use the Scratch one, where I will give the name of my workspace and then I will create an app. Once I do that, I will get my ID and secret, which will be required in the configuration for MuleSoft connector. Sorry, MuleSoft Slack connector. And we also need to enable the permissions. Okay, where we need to give both token scope, like what operation we want to do with that, and we need to define a redirect URL. Okay, once we configure that things in Slack, this is the configuration what we do in MuleSoft, which I will show you again. Okay, so now let me go to the hands-on. So as I was speaking about, so we need to go to api.slack.com. Okay, this is your page where you have different option. You want any document, you want to have some tutorial, some developer program, you can do that. Now once you click to your app, okay, as I already sign into my workspace, and I have a workspace which looks something like this. Okay, so it is showing like my workspace name over here. Okay, and it's asking me if I need to create a new app. But if you are doing it for the first time, it will give an option to create an app. Okay, and you need to create a workspace if you don't have that. So as Rohan already mentioned, okay, this is how your Slack look like. This is a browser one, but we also have an app, so you can have your workspace over there. Okay, you have the elements where you can see like what all channels or to whom you can have your direct message, what all apps you have. You can do that. You can add apps over here, like your Google Drive, Google Calendar, your Zoom, Trello. A lot of options what we have with Slack. Okay, then this is the app part. Now if I go back, we have the documents, we have the tutorials. So like if I go to the doc, you can see everything about the APIs, how you can connect through APIs. You can see that. Okay, there is an option for web API, which currently I am using for some of the methods. Okay, you can see like what all different options you have. So like if you go to the HTTP web methods, so you can, there are API portals for Slack which you can use directly with your Postman as well. Okay, so I'm using for my chat post message. So you can see there is a option for chat post message, and this is the URL you can use. Now the token, the boat token, you need to enable this, which I was talking, like you will need in your app. So this is the boat token which you need if you want to post a message to a channel. Okay, and you need to use that in your boat token when you are doing your configuration, and then you can use this user tokens in your Postman, which will allow you to post a message in your Slack. Okay, with this particular operation. Okay, this is one example I'm giving, but there are several others what you can see over here. Like whatever methods you want to do, there are a lot of other methods which can be used. And for all of this, or for most of this, I've shown you, like we have got the operation, the connector what I'm using in MuleSoft, we have got the operations for that. Some of them are deprecated, but most of them are present, and that works the similar way. Okay, now going back to my API. Okay, just let me show you the configurations I have done. So as I've created my workspace and enabled the basic information, I got my client ID and client secret. In that, once we get that, we need to also add the permissions. Okay, so you need to enable this oath token, and then you need to add the scope for your port. Okay, you need to authorize that, and you need to give a callback URL, which is like for the first time when you are running your application, you need to enable that, you need to add that permission. Okay, and it accepts only HTTPS. Earlier you it used to accept HTTP and HTTPS both, but now it is only HTTPS. Okay, and how you configure this URL is like when you're developing in your local machine in your studio, so it will be local host. So you need to enable, like you need to run your application, and once you do that, take this URL, run it on browser, and it will ask a permission from you. So just enable that permission, and once you do that, then only it will be enabled, otherwise it won't be enabled, it won't be working. Okay, so this is the required configurations what we need to do, and I hope that is clear. Any question from anyone? Got up any questions we have?
No, not as of now.
Okay, so I hope that is clear, like what we need to do in order to enable, okay, our part which need to be configured. So this is a small application I've created where I have a HTTP listener which will take the information to this API internally. And this is my Slack where I need the configuration which we were talking about, the IDs and things what we have created. So this is how it works. Okay, so the consumer key and secret, like the ID, this this ID and secret what we are using over here, this need to go over here in this part. Then the auth URL and access token. Okay, this is quite common, which we are using. And here we are setting up the callback URL. Okay, this is localhost because we are running it in our local, and this is one time thing what you need to do. So you can give localhost, and you run your application, use this in your browser, and give the permission. And when you do that, this will start working. Okay, so what this particular connector will do is, now here I have channels. Okay, in my Slack I have got different channels like POC, social, all new workspace. Okay, what I need to do is I need to post a message through an API to my Slack channel, and it may be anything. Okay, so what I have done is here I need to provide a name of the channel, like in which channel I want to move it, and then what message, which will be in the text format. Okay, there are other configuration. If it is applicable for your use case, you can put that. Otherwise, like if you want to send any attachment, any blocks you want to send, you can do that. Okay, uh, so I am just putting a message to my channel. That's what I want to do, and that is through MuleSoft using the connector. So I'm using it. So I need to run this, so I will just simply run this You can add loggers, you can do a lot of things, but I'm not going very depth with MuleSoft because it will be very heavy to understand everything uh, in a single go. But yeah, this is something which you use at present to create your APIs in MuleSoft. This is called Endpoint Studio, and we have got different connectors. So you can get it from Exchange. Like you can see, there is search in Exchange. Okay, so whatever we have for the open free connectors, we can get it from here. Just you need to type, and it will search, and it will let you know, okay, whether we have that connector, and then we can directly import that in our studio. Okay, so this is running, and meanwhile I will show you like how the structure of the API get created. So POM is something which is required where you have all the dependencies. Okay, so when we have imported even Slack connector, we can see the dependency has been added over here. Okay, so this is where like it gets all the dependency, and it enable that connector in your studio. Okay, so this is running. Once, so I've executed this in debug mode. I can show you my listener config as well. So some basic config like the path, what path I want to give. I want to give that a Slack, and the host and port running on 8081 as a local host. Okay, this is the simple configuration we have for this listener. So this enable us to get the input to our APIs. Okay, still running. Let give it a little time. And coming back to platform, so we have different deployment models. So this is the runtime where you do your deployments of applications. So there are different deployment models, like we have RTF, we have cloud deployment, cloud 1 and 2, and then we have on-prem servers. Like you have your own server, you are managing everything. Like the runtime plane is over there, but the control plane is in MuleSoft. Okay, so on-prem, what you do is you have your own server and you deploy your code over there. So like we are doing in our local system now. So this is a server for us. Likewise, you can have your own standalone server, which can be over here, and in this runtime manager, like this is a trial account, so it may give error, but this is where you deploy your application. It's giving you an option like deploy it, so you just give a name. You can choose cloud 1 or cloud 2. Okay, and depending like how many reasons you are getting for your subscription, then this is the hybrid where you can put your on-prem cluster, okay, your on-prem server, and then you will get the option to see that, and you can deploy your code over there. Okay, so this is where you do your deployments. Now my application is started. So what I will do is I will post a message. So this is my postman where I have configured the URL like where I want to post it. So this is localhost. My path is Slack, and I want to first post it to POC channel. Okay. So as you have seen over here, there are two channels. One is social and one is POC. So I just want to post it first to POC. And as this app is created, like I am using my uh, it is created from my workspace. Okay, so you will see like the message is getting posted by like meetup demo, and it will show like which user is doing that. So I post this message, and I will get the response like what message we have. So who is the user, type is message. Okay, and what message we have done. This is in text format, your bot ID, your app ID, all this information it gives you. Like this is my workspace name. Okay, and now if we go back to our workspace, and we can see like this has been posted in my Slack channel. So I'm not doing it manually, or no one else from any other channel is posting this out. I am posting this out, and this has given you the message. Now if I want to do it for social channel, then I can just change my channel name, and I want to post the same message. Okay, maybe I can clear this, and I will post it again, which is as a text. it has given me the user information and what message I am sending. Okay, and if I now go back, I can see the message has been posted to my social channel. Likewise, as I said, there are other operations what we can do. At present, we have done chat post message which post to a channels. But if you want to do it for a user, if you want to do it for a group, you can do that. If you want, like whenever there is a new message in a channel, you want that in your application and you want to send it to Salesforce or any other different destination, that is also possible using MuleSoft Studio or MuleSoft Composer, MuleSoft RPA, any one of that which helps you with the integration. You can use that and you can carry forward with your integration. So that's pretty much from my end. Now, if anyone have any question, we can take that up. We can stop the recording, Gaurav, if you want.